So March's monthly report is out, starting with the CIG LA office. With engineering, they say the early stages of the new interaction system is being incorporated into the ship seats, doors and ramps. They're testing the new shield emitter system, which adds great dimension to how shields will function, and gives ship engineers greater control over how much energy gets routed to a particular shield facing. Also, they are working at bringing persistence to us. Now, tech design say they are getting the Reliant hangar ready, working diligently on the Caterpillar, which is now in white box. Art is concepting Caterpillar cargo modules and crew habitation quarters. They're creating materials for the Navy jumpsuit, a second concept pass on the light armor, and materials for the flight suit helmet, plus more Persistent Universe clothing. Technical content has worked on tech for character customization, like layering. They're also continuing to review and add LODs to ships. At the moment they are on the 300 series. QA is currently focused on the Katu Al flight performance, the Starfarer hangar and preliminary flight performance, early testing for persistence features, investigating server stability and performance, which seems to be an ongoing thing, and gathering ship feedback. This month, the Drake Cutlass. So on the narrative side, Dave Haddock, who is the lead writer, is looking over the Squadron 42 white box levels to add additional dialogue, a way of making it feel a little more immersive. They've started naming and writing descriptions for the massive amount of components, items, and clothing being developed. Cherie, the Destroyer of Worlds, has been compiling a list of entries for the Galactopedia, as well as a chronology of the happened events. So in Austin, on their development side, they say they're sorting out the pricing for every item. They're also doing single item transaction UI. Alpha currency will help them nail down the final pricing numbers before the live build is released. And with persistence now in the main dev stream, they can never go back, so it's here to stay. Also, they have rebuilt the hangars to allow customization to which ships can be displayed and which hangar flare you want where. It's now been passed on to the UI team to dress up for the Moby-Glass. Research and development has gone into cockpit comparisons for male and female characters. More work has been done on the new enter and exit speeds for ships, plus allowing 2 entry points for ships. They're also working on various animation interactions like dining at a booth or standing, sitting at a computer console, serving champagne, all these animations for the NPCs, and they have started work on the Hornet upgrade and the Drake Herald. IT and Ops have made major progress on reducing the patch size, which is very important, so we don't have to download the full game every time we get a new patch, just the files that are necessary. So Foundry 42 in the UK, engineering again, they say they have finished up on the cover system. The last piece was procedural cover. This allows us to slide and shoot around edges. It'll be nice when that finally gets properly in, because at the moment it's a bit glitchy. They've moved on to vaulting and mantling mechanic. For example, vaulting onto a moving spaceship. That's the example they gave. I have no idea how that's going to work. Also, work is being done on grenades and interrupting reloads. So I assume if you're reloading and someone pops their head around the corner, you need to be able to cancel the reload to take them down. Second stage of landing is complete. This is a more of a simpler automatic method. The third stage, which is what they're moving on to now, is landing within another ship. They say the first part of the landing in a ship is complete. They just need to figure out how to land while the ship is moving. And apparently there's been some calamity moments where they've been bashing into the walls and all sorts. They've started implementing the scanners and the radar mechanic. This is being extended to work while on foot. They're integrating the conversation system with subsumption systems too. So onto graphics, they've looked into the facial animation tech and done a pass over particle effect shaders. On the ship side, they've made incredible progress with the Idris and the Javelin. On the Idris, they have got the bridge, the gravity room, the armory, the cargo room and the escape pods done. Cannot wait to see the Idris. The Javelin, they have got through the bridge and the entire engineering deck, but there's about 3 of the decks, so there's a lot of work to go. The Bengal, they are wrapping up the final texture sheets on the exterior and creating building sets for the interior, and progress has been made on the Herald and the Caterpillar and the new Hornet F7A, which is for Squadron 42. All these are now in production. On environments, one level of Squadron 42 is now in the final art phase. The whole facility is locked in terms of content and layout, which include terrain-based traversal, blending with procedural content, maintenance bays, habitation sections, and technical areas. My god, I'm so excited for Squadron 42. Weapons and levels, they say they have spent a lot of time on the Xi'an transport ship interior, space station interior and exterior configurations. The Xi'an transport ship, I would love to see what that looks like. They've also spent a lot of time on component and the Javelin hangar, plus ship weapons, ship components and props, and a new small ship, possibly the Miner. Second pass of Bayring's FPS weaponry needed for Squadron 42 is done. They're integrating a more visually interesting rail system as well, which is how we attach items to the weapons like scopes. On visual effects, they are working on new weapon effects and tidying up the old ones, plus working on things like sparks, to make it look more natural. Design are hopefully going to see a working refueling system online soon. The Argo is also getting very close to finished. They've seen some funny Idris landing videos as mentioned. They say you'll be a brave pilot to land a Hornet inside without using the automated landing system, so there's a challenge in itself. I can just see a cool live stream coming from that one. First pass on control refactoring will be in for 2.4. This is the unification between FPS, EVA and space combat so that it feels more natural. The Moby-Glass refactor is signed off and now into production, and the holotable update is in engineering for UI and final implementation. On animation, they are working on core locomotion like starts, stops and steps to improve player movement and responsiveness. The railgun animations has gone in, so that's now functional, very cool. And AI guys are checking vents and reacting to sounds. So the Foundry 42 in Frankfurt, they say they have got 2 new ship weapons and a bunch of FPS weapon concepts now in production. In terms of engine code, they are working on atmosphere rendering and research and development into large-scale soft terrain shadows. EVA has had a lot of work done on the transitions. They're just scratching the surface of what's possible, and as you can see, it's looking a lot smoother in the video. Environments, they are supporting new procedural tech, research and development on detailing the surface of the planet with procedural geometry like boulders, rocks and pebbles. Design are hard at work on major landing zones in the persistent universe. Port Olisar is getting a lot of work with the new shopping district and adding to the existing facilities. Very excited to see this when it comes in 2.4. They're also adding a pirate or lawless base for players with an outlaw rep where they can respawn or dock without Crusader security being a nuisance. Very nice. Hurston Landing Zone is one of them getting a lot of attention. It's a large planetary settlement around the Hurston family building and its gigantic mining operations. Quantum travel is also getting a major overhaul. They're going to make it more challenging. Entering faster and travelling longer distances will require a greater skill, but they're also introducing the concept of interdiction, where you stop quantum travel by way of either damage, specialised weapons or deployable devices which stop them dead in the tracks. Power distribution on ships is getting a good look in. Anything from a big laser cannon to a little tiny light bulb is affected by the distribution of power. So on AI, they say they have a behaviour prototyping for perception and reactions, aiming precision and out of combat activities. NPC interactions with objects like chairs, repairing computers and opening doors, etc. are being looked at. And they're pushing the loot generation for the spawning of lootable items. It's not just going to be everywhere, easily accessed. They're going to encourage exploration, so it's not just going to be littered everywhere. It'll be more rewarding the harder you look. They've also worked on NPC patrol paths. They've now got 3 behaviours in, including defend area, combat move and hold position, and a lot of progress has been made on subsumption. So, on to behaviour. The design side is setting up shopping in the Casabra outlet. Hurston and Stanton system landing zones are now in white box, and they're helping to add new content to Crusader and Port Olisar. In engineering, they have created the AR-based interface for clothes and personal weapons. This is your augmented reality. So kind of like a UI overlay, so you can see the description and the pricing for each clothing and each weapon. For vehicle components, it's more of a catalogue-based shopping system, as obviously you cannot pick these items up. They've also got a tryout camera to preview items before buying, which is very good, so you can see what it looks like on you before you actually buy it. And they have updated the Cryastro UI and hooking everything up with persistence. That cannot come soon enough. On the outside, they have polished the market area of Levski and begun work on the next space plant. In Turbulent, for the ship stats, they say they are on the final stages of a new ship reference matrix. Some information may still not be 100% accurate, in particular ships that are not far along in development. The multi-factor authentication is ongoing. They say there'll be 2 options to start with: either send authentication code via email or a specifically designed and skinned Google Authenticator. In the future, they will have an SMS code to send to your phone. Finally, the communication platform. They're merging forums and chat system into one single page module. Anyway, that was the monthly report. Some great details coming out there. Let me know your thoughts.